Governor John Waihee was recently quoted as saying, this session was a banner year for Native Hawaiians. What he actually said was not just a banner year, $1 billion year. And I think that deserves a great round of applause. Tyler Gomes, Deputy Director of DHHL, was very skeptical and was also quoted as saying he was getting ready for a big letdown when we announced in the beginning of the year that we will commit $600 million. But he was supremely happy with the commitment made at the beginning of session and that the legislature and this body stuck with it till the end. And we are here today, and we did that. When given the opportunity due to increased revenues, we provided the largest total appropriation in the history of our state for the benefit of Native Hawaiians. I think, each and every one of you folks deserve all the credit and for all the things that you have done for the community. So if you could just stand and just raise your hand and just say, hey, we did it. So just stand up. Yeah, stand up, everybody. We appropriated $600 million for DHHL to develop lots, purchase lands, and provide down payment and rent subsidies for individuals on the wait list. We could have stopped there because $600 million commitment is a huge single-year appropriation. But we didn't stop at $600 million, did we, Mr. Speaker? Towards the end of session, through the leadership of the Speaker of the House, the state came to a resolution in the Kalima case, which only resulted because of the increased revenues and having discussion with the Attorney General's office to nudge the settlement. It resulted in a $328 million settlement, which we have been unable to resolve for decades. And now we are able to at least look some of these people, the plaintiffs who have been waiting on the wait list for decades, to say we were able to reach a settlement so that we can try to move forward on many of the people on the wait list.
Representative Onishi, would you yield your time?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
So with the $600 million to DHHL, $328 million to settle Kalima, we could have stopped there, but we didn't. And if Sylvia Hussey could stand up. For about a decade, the pro rata share of the ceded land revenues to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs remained at $15.1 million. As no real discussion occurred about ceded lands revenues, this legislature made a decision to reset the amount at $21.5 million, not just prospectively, but retroactively, resulting in a one-time payment to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in the amount of $64 million. And the reason why I wanted to recognize Sylvia Hussey is because this didn't just happen overnight. We could have easily said, hey, the administration and Office of Hawaiian Affairs have not negotiated, but we're just gonna nudge them to negotiate, do a working group, and then see if they come out with some resolution in the future. But we didn't do that. It took hours and days of negotiation with Office of Hawaiian Affairs, with Sylvia and Chair Hulu and others, talking about, okay, what is something that is equitable and fair at this very moment when we have the revenues, because next year we may not be in the same position again. So we wanted to thank you and Chair Hulu for being available and having a discussion with us to arrive at this decision today. But again, that wasn't all. We also provided $10 million for homestead services and $20 million for DHHL lot development. Additionally, to support the perpetuation of culture and history, thanks to the work of the Culture and the Arts Chair, we provided $17.5 million to Bishop Museum, $2 million for ongoing support to Iolani Palace, $500,000 for Kaho'olawe Island Reserve, and permanent funding for Ahamoku Council. And I think Mahelani Cipher is walking around, and she may visit you folks because she is so thankful for the commitment of this legislature to make Ahamoku Council ongoing funding permanent. For the last several years, we have been discussing how to help the Alice families, and that was a reminder our labor chair constantly reminded us. AUW report found that some of the largest cost